Rian had everything except peace. The corner office. The car people stared at when he drove by. The watch that cost more than his father's yearly salary back when Rian was a boy. From the outside, his life looked like success. But on the inside, he was breaking. Every win only made him hungrier for the next. Every deal closed felt empty within days. And every time someone else climbed higher, he felt a sting in his chest, as if his worth was being stolen. At night, he couldn't sleep. He would stare at the ceiling, his mind racing. What if I lose it all? What if I fall behind? What if people stop respecting me? His life was built on fear disguised as achievement. One Friday, after a meeting where his rival got the praise he secretly craved, Rian drove out of the city instead of heading home. He just kept going, past the traffic, past the suburbs, until tall trees replaced glass towers. Hours later, he pulled over near a small roadside inn. He sat in the car, exhausted, staring at his own reflection in the dark window. His suit, his tie, his polished image, he felt like a stranger inside it. That night, unable to sleep, he wandered outside. The air smelled of pine and rain. He followed a dirt path until he found a wooden bench facing the mountains. An old man sat there, wrapped in a coat, sipping from a tin cup. Rian almost turned away, but the man spoke first. "You've got the look of someone carrying too much." Rian laughed bitterly. "And what makes you think that?" The man pointed to his chest. "Your shoulders are straight, but your eyes are begging for rest. That's not strength, that's weight." Something cracked inside Rian. He sat down. For a long time they said nothing. Finally, Rian whispered, "I have everything I thought I wanted, but it feels like nothing, and I don't know how to stop chasing." The man sipped his drink. "Attachment," he said simply. Rian frowned. "Attachment? Yes, you've tied your joy to things that can vanish: titles, numbers, approval, possessions. That's why you're never happy, because those things don't belong to you. They own you." Rian stared at the ground. The words cut deeper than any truth he had heard. The old man stood and stretched. "I'll show you something." He picked up a small stone from the dirt path and clenched it tightly in his fist. "See this?" He squeezed harder, his hand trembling. "The tighter I hold, the more it hurts." He opened his palm. The stone rested there, harmless. "But when I let go, I'm free." He dropped the stone into Rian's hand. "You want peace? Stop gripping. Let go." Then he walked back down the path, leaving Rian alone with the stone. The next morning, Rian drove back to the city. The noise returned, the deadlines, the constant comparison. But something had shifted. He started noticing the places where he was gripping too tightly, the endless chase for recognition, the fear of losing money, the obsession with proving he was better. And each time he caught himself, he remembered the old man's hand trembling around that stone. It wasn't easy. Letting go never is. The first test came a week later when Rian lost a contract he had spent months fighting for. His old self would have spiraled rage, sleepless nights, desperate planning. But this time, he whispered to himself, "It's just a stone, drop it." And strangely, instead of breaking him, it freed him. He walked outside that night, bought a coffee from a street vendor, and sat on a bench just watching people laugh in the park. For the first time in years, he felt alive without winning anything. Slowly, Rian began letting go of more. He sold the car he had bought only to impress. He stopped checking his phone every 2 minutes for messages that never really mattered. He let go of friendships that were built only on competition. And with every release, something surprising happened. Space appeared. Space for laughter. Space for quiet mornings. Space for himself. He hadn't realized how suffocated he'd been until he started breathing again. Months later, Rian returned to the mountains, hoping to see the old man. But the bench was empty. Only the wind moved through the trees. Rian sat down anyway. In his pocket, he still carried the small stone the man had given him that night. He held it in his hand, smiled, and finally tossed it into the valley below. It tumbled down, out of sight. And with it, so did the chains he had built around himself. That evening, as the sun painted the sky in gold, Rian whispered to no one in particular, "Attachment is the thief of joy. Letting go is where freedom lives." And for the first time in a long time, he felt not successful, not powerful, just happy, truly happy.